Things are getting so heated right now. Gigi just decided to sue Prophet Lovy Elias. You remember that she came out with her story, and right now she has decided to take it to the next level. You know, we saw Prophet Lovy suing Pastor EJ, suing Jax, but right now looks like the cards are actually changing. There are people who are saying that, Gigi is doing this because of the money and all this, but Prophet Lovy as well, if you get to read the lawsuit, it is about the money. He wants to be compensated. So why are you pissed off that she wants to be catered for the damages that she went through, and you're okay if Prophet Lovy is actually suing for defamation and wants to be compensated on the damages? Why are you against it? That's just a double standard by itself. So the case is on right now and things are getting heated. The truth is, with all the manipulation that has been going on, a lot of control in some of these ministries, the truth is we need a legal system that can be can actually take charge of these situations. We can't just let people do whatever they want, because in the name of, okay, if I once had a prophet say that if you're against what I'm doing and what I'm preaching, why don't you pray to God so that God can come and stop me? So if we think in that line, the devil has been in existence forever. Why isn't God stopping the devil in that manner then? With all the Christians that have been praying since day zero, why isn't God putting a stop to this? You see, because God is a just God. He is not just a God that works out of emotions, and no, he is a just God. There is a pattern. The truth, according to his word, is that he will wipe out the devil, but that time has not yet come. There is a pattern. But right now, because of the deception and a lot of people taking advantage of people, we need a system, a global system that these people can actually be answerable to, because it is crazy. If you get in detail, check what is happening in some of these ministries. I'm telling you, you will be shocked. It is terrible. So I want us to get to have a look at a clip here from Pastor EJ, where he is just breaking down some very shocking things, what has been ongoing in the background. Because when I saw this clip the first time, it's a very emotional clip, because he's getting to speak about what's going on even with the kids, with the whole lawsuits and all these things. It's a very sad state to be in. But as usual, and as a family, we are praying together with you. May God give you the strength for this, because this is not easy. So I want us to go in this video here. So he just did this live on his Instagram. So let me just forward to, probably let's pick it up from this point here.
Together, okay? Very important. Now, with that being said, there's so many updates. There have been so many updates, and I personally have refrained from responding to every Tom, Dick, and Harry and what they have to say about the court case. A lot of the bloggers that you see talk about it have no idea what they're talking about. A few reputable bloggers or influencers or Christian content creators, I think, kind of have an idea of what's going on. I've seen, Marcus Rogers talk about it, Abednego talk about it, Wake Up Church Now talk about it, Isaiah Robbins. Okay, I'm right back on. When you see the gay bloggers, there's this group of gay guys that have been covering the case. When you watch their videos or whatever, when you see it pop up on YouTube, they have no idea what they're talking about. They're paid, and they're bought actors by certain persons. Now, I'm going to tell you why I say they're butt actors. One of the guys in question, I'm not going to say his name. I don't believe he's worthy of his name being said. If I had that person as a child, I probably would never say his name. I'll be so ashamed of him. And I say this like from my heart. I will be ashamed of him, and I'll pray for him every life. So if that was my family member, I just mention him. So that's how bad this person is. So one of the lives he was doing, Lovy sent $500, well, $499 while he was live, talking about all of this stuff. You understand? Everybody can hear? Okay, good. He was talking about all of these things and just spilling a bunch of lies. His captions are very demeaning and downgrading to the victims, to Jax, to Gigi, to Sheridan, you know, talking down on the women. Hey, you know, talking down on the women, saying horrible things about them. And I'm not even going to cover mine. Mine, this said some really horrible things, but it's the Lord would deal with him. You know, when you follow those blogs, they're very biased because they've been bought. Somebody has paid for them to give you a one-sided opinion. So they have no idea. They're very uneducated. These are all black men, by the way. They make black people look very bad and uneducated. So to be quite honest with you, so they don't represent the black community. Don't watch their videos and be like, oh, this is how all black people are. No, that's not how black people are. They're some cool black educated people. But those guys are very uneducated about the court system. And they have no idea what they're talking about. In fact, recently, one of the videos claimed that, you know, I was homeless and all that stuff. And I'm reading it with my wife, and we're like, where are we reading this video from? Anyway, I chose not to respond to it at that time. And a lot of the things they've said I will not be responding to because what's the point of responding to lies, right? It doesn't make any sense. Whoever wants to believe a lie will believe a lie if they don't like you anyway. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I'm going to speak about the truth, about what's happening. Now, a lot of people have asked if certain members of Revelation Church are complicit, know what's going on. So here are some updates in the court. I'm going to mention some names that have gone on court record to defend Lovy, that have sworn on paper. It's been filed in the court system. The likes of Lee Simpson, the likes of Lena, the likes of Todd Anthony, the likes of Chaz Bryan, and there's one other person I gotta remember, a couple of other people. But all of these people that you may have thought were kind of not sure about what's going on have gone on the record and filed testimonies. Some of the testimonies are actually lies. In fact, all the testimonies are lies, but some of the testimonies, the lies are so obvious that even a baby will see through it. Even a baby will see, oh my gosh, this is a lie, right? So they've come on up and said all these, you know, all these lies, you know, and some of those lies, like I said, are like so outrageous. Some of them, you have to know the situation to know it's a lie. And some other ones, like even your child will know, like, come on, man, stop that nonsense. So that has happened over the last month. And you would think that he would have dropped this case. He would have moved on. He would focus on better things in life. And, you know, he said Gigi, for example, was not worth his time, or some of the victims were not worth his time or whatever. And you would think he would just move on from it. But he is very much so still fighting it, right? And fighting us, I mean, guns blazing, nonstop, very bitter. I personally don't understand I don't understand how a human can hate another human that bad. Now, what's really weird is at the beginning of everything, his lawyers claimed, he claimed not to have anything going to do with whatever my kids got going on. But when we checked the dockets, we saw that his lawyers actually were in kind of, looking into the kid's case and things like that. And weird. Okay, for whatever reason, hey, who knows? And I put this together, we kind of put this together that obviously we already know that they're working together. His group, his camp, and my ex-wife are working together. So while Lovy's doing the thing with his defamation lawsuits, my ex-wife is continuing to fight, on the kids' end, which is really sad because, the kids just want to be left alone, to be quite honest with you. The kids want to be left alone. The kids want to move on with life. They just want to be kids. They just want to enjoy life. They want to be able to travel. In fact, we were supposed to go see my parents before my parents came to see us. And we requested the kids' passports to go see my parents. My dad is old. Some of you have seen him. He's old. My grandparents are still alive, my mom's parents, but they're very, very old. And we requested for their passport to travel, to spend time with family. And they denied us getting those passports. I mean, the kids are enrolled in school. I have a church here. We're not running away. The kids just want a normal life. They just want to see their grandparents, their great-grandparents. You know how many people will die to see their great-grandparents or hope that they could have lived to see their great-grandparents? And my kids are being denied that because they're being placed in the middle of somebody's chess game. Very demonic stuff, right? It makes no sense. They didn't give any reason as to why they wouldn't give my kids their passports. Now, some really horrific things have happened with the kids, which for right now, I would choose not to discuss because I would like to protect my kids' innocence, privacy, and not embarrass them. But my kids have held some very dark things inside of their hearts, and they haven't trusted even counselors. They haven't trusted counselors or therapists because years ago, my ex-wife allegedly took them to counseling, and the counselor assured one of my daughters, that whatever was shared in that session will remain private, except if it was going to cause some harm, if she was going to cause harm to herself. And so my daughter, youngest child, opened up. Hello. My youngest child opened up, and as you will have it, when she got home, everything she told the counselor was replayed to her, and it was used against her. So because of that, she has refused to trust any counselors. But again, another update: the courts got somebody involved called the Guardian Enlighten, and thank God. I don't know what's happened. My daughter, this particular daughter, opened up to the Guardian. Okay, and so some of the really dark things that have happened were said, were uttered. And I pray that the Lord heals my kids from these things. Okay, very dark things. So we're here now. Sorry, I just needed a moment to gather myself really quickly. So we're here now, and we are praying for the best. We're praying for the best, hoping for the best. Like I said, they're playing a lot of chess, but it's unfortunate that the kids are in the middle of it. You don't play chess with kids. But knowing that camp and seeing how dirty they've been, I'm not surprised. Okay, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, you've shown up to the church and legally kidnapped the kids, and then you have text messages allegedly from Lovy, talking about how people was gonna come up and take the kids, and even he had pictures of the days the kids got taken from angles inside of the church, you know, of those people that actually were there to record. Weird stuff, right? Weird stuff that you wouldn't think will come from a preacher. You wouldn't think will come from a preacher. So, with that being said, that's some of the updates on my end. I'll share more and I'll go more into more details as the next days come up, and I'll begin to share more about getting out of a cult or the leadership of a false prophet, because it's very important. Now, I can see the comments. I see.
Wow, those are some very dark things that the kids have to be part of. And I also stand in agreement to what Pastor EJ has spoken about, that may God just bring healing to those kids, you know, because you can try and imagine this. They're just caught up in the middle of everything that's going on, you know. Something that's crazy about families, that we don't choose families. We don't choose the families that we decide to come from, you know. We just find ourselves. We just find ourselves. So it's a very sad state. It's a very, very sad state. Also, he's spoken about titles on different videos where they put some very demeaning titles just to, these are people who are not sensitive maybe to people who have been victims of these situations. So for them, they just put these demeaning titles. I actually saw one. There's a title I saw that was speaking about Gigi, and on that title, they're calling Gigi a stalker just because she has decided to file a lawsuit against Lovy. So the title there is that now they're calling her a stalker, suggesting that now she's just after money and things like that. But who stalked who? You know, because you have set up an online platform that people are supposed to join in, and then they are very vulnerable to you. They are sharing their deepest truths. These are people, they're looking for solutions. So they are opening up in all manner of lives. So who's talking who? Who is talking who? And then now you take that information that they have shared with you, and you use that information for your advantage, to manipulate them, to take control of them, to abuse them. So who is the stalker really? Who is talking who? Who is the stalker? So I saw a title there that's written that, but I was just thinking, okay, who is the stalker in this situation? You know, it's very diabolical that now pastors are prophets are actually stalking you. Yes, you're the one who gets to share your information to them, but they use that information against you. And they're just digging deeper just to get to know more about you. What happened here? What happened here? You're just looking at it like maybe they want to help you, but that's not the case. They're actually stalking you. These are quite hard times. I'm telling you, these are quite hard times. So let us remember Pastor EJ. Let us remember to pray for him. Pray also for his family. For sure, this is not an easy time. You can see it. You can tell it even by just the look. If you look closely in his eyes, you can see it. can see it, that it's not quite an easy thing.